What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe Notice off DFS here to bring you that NBA slate breakdown for the 2-game NBA slate. If you guys are new here, you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of my NBA breakdowns, prize pick, and prop videos, and anything else that I put out over here on the channel. Drop a like on the video if it's helping you guys win some money, and let's get right into it. Doing a quick recap of last night, went 2 of 3 on props that I put out last night. I had Pascal Siakam for over 5.5 assists. We got a hook on that one. He got the 5 assists. Didn't give us the get to the last one. To getting the 6 assists kind of sucks. De'Aaron Fox over 4 rebounds. He clutched up at the end of the game in like the last 3 minutes. He got 2 rebounds to help him go over that. And then LeBron James, masterclass triple-double. For over 30.5 points and assists. Killed that right there. So 2 of 3, still made some money last night on the night altogether. And hopefully tonight we can go ahead and do the same thing, even on a small slate. I got a couple of props I'm eyeballing. Some of them might be a little bit, little testy. Some people might not agree with me on, but the numbers kind of back them up. I know. I'm looking is all I'm going to say. So if you guys want to see the props, see the core plays, the cheat sheets, stuff like that I'm putting out, check the link down in the description below for the Dub Club, and you guys will be able to see all that information, not only my stuff, but everyone else over here at the No Days Off group. Last night for DFS, I will tell you right now, if I had to do my line last night again, 10 out of 10 times, I would do it again 10 out of 10, straight up. So I prioritize, of course, getting the Luka going up against Washington. If you're going to tell me that Luka will go out there and give me 51 fantasy points going up against Washington with no Kyrie, I kind of wouldn't think twice in regards to it. I really did expect at least, I was kind of banking on a 60, 65 point performance from Luka, but I did not get that. The rest of the line was actually really, really solid, but I honestly, I look at my line and I'm really confused on what happened and what went wrong. So main line, my line that I put out, it was Luka Doncic. I went with Grady Dick. Of course, shooters going up against with Milwaukee. We've attacked them. We've targeted that all season. I'm not going to change that in any way, shape, or form. Grady Dick, that is what he is. He is a shooter. So I went ahead, I went with Grady Dick, especially for the value at 3.5. And then when it got word that Andre Jackson was going to start, I just took a chance, punt play. I was like, screw it. Don't mind it, don't hate it, especially because I love the rest of my line. Went with Derrick Jones Jr. I didn't fall for the green trap because I looked at the numbers and I looked at what happened the last time that Kyrie was out. Even when Green, he got a little bit boosted in his minutes, it was really Derrick Jones Jr. who stepped up in a major way. But unfortunately for me, even though Derrick Jones Jr. at low ownership went off for 36 fantasy points, it was still the Tim Hardaway Jr. show, and Tim Hardaway Jr. was the guy, the nuts, honestly, for the Mavericks last night. I played Julius Randle, who I kind of really did like his spot in his position, especially with no RJ Barrett. The usage, the shot, everything should have been there, especially you're not going to have to worry about going up against Porzingis. And, sorry, not Porzingis. You're going up against Atlanta. That defense, everything that they have out there for that, I wasn't too worried about that. Really figured that he would have had a great game, and he did. And then Drew Holiday, of course, with no Porzingis, with no Jaylen Brown, he's going to have to step up. He's actually going to have to take some shots, which he did. Had a pretty good game, 43 fantasy points. But if you went with Derek White, got the 1K savings, that would have helped you. And then down at the bottom, going with Jarris Walker over Kamara, which I looked at the numbers again. Kamara, even though he started low usage rate, low usage, everything, really not a great fantasy point per minute producer, Jarris Walker was the guy who actually produced more in the 20-ish minutes that him and Kamara split in regards to the time they were out there. So I went with Jarris Walker as another punt play. And then I played Vooch because I wanted to get somebody from that Chicago game, but Chicago, they just came on a little bit too late in that game. But all in all, I scored a 262, and I just really don't understand how I didn't get closer to like a 280 to 300 mark. It was just really head-scratching in regards to it. Mixed results on the slate, but nonetheless, right back at it again tonight. I'm not gonna be too upset in regards to it. I feel like my process, everything is very good, very solid, especially whenever it comes down to just doing the research, looking at the numbers, looking at the matchups, and fantasy point production, all that good stuff. I really do feel like I have a really great process in regards to it. Hopefully, you guys are getting something out of this as well whenever it comes down to it. So. Going over for injury report for tonight, Brooklyn Nets, they're still without Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas. For the Miami Heat, they are without RJ Hampton and Tyler Hero. So those two will be out. Starters should be the norm for Brooklyn. Same thing for Miami. Over here for the Thunder, we have nobody on our injury report. And the biggest thing over here on the night for the Golden State Warriors is that Steph Curry and Draymond Green are going to be out for today's game. So going over, starting with the Brooklyn side, looking at this, in all honesty, with Ben Simmons and with Thomas out, we've actually seen kind of a resurgence, and Spencer Dinwiddie has been playing pretty well over the last couple of games. 27 fantasy points, and then popped off for 50.75 fantasy points. I don't mind Spencer Dinwiddie. Just looking at it, if they're going to actually go ahead and start, let's see. Really, this is just all together really just interesting. So looking at it, I kind of don't mind Claxton. Claxton, 6'1", looking at him. Last game, he played 21 minutes, but he did get himself into foul trouble. And Claxton, he's been a pretty decent fantasy point per minute producer. I know centers, they haven't had the best games going up against the Miami Heat, but he is definitely going to have to produce in regards to the minutes and time, and hopefully he can actually go out there and guard Bam Adebayo a little bit. But if I have to take anybody over here for the Brooklyn Nets, main person is going to be Mikal Bridges. I know he might draw that Jimmy Butler defense, but all the shots, the usage, the rebounding, the actual playmaking that he can actually go out there and do, defensive upside that he has, I don't hate that, especially for AK price tag. That's going to be along the spectrum of one of the studs I would pay up for on today's slate. Really do actually like it for him over here. And then if you want to mess with it, you can come down here to Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't hate him as well. And then, like I said, Claxton would probably be the next person up if I'm looking at that. Off the bench, I will have some interest in Royce O'Neal. I think he should play a decent amount of minutes at 5K. Yes, a little testy, but he's been pretty consistent in regards to the minutes, role, and rotation that he's going to go out there and play. Should see close to at least 30 minutes whenever he's out there on the court. So definitely someone else I think you can go to over here for them. I will play Royce O'Neal over Lonnie Walker. I understand Lonnie 5'7" might get an uptick in his minutes of production and stuff like that, but I will actually have to go with Royce, especially just for the price per dollar is what I'm going to be looking at over there for that. Over here on the Miami Heat side, still, of course, with no Tyler Hero. Not falling for the Kyle Lowry trap in regards to the last game. I know he's going to play point guard, but Lowry, he got in foul trouble in that last game. Picked up three fouls in like the first 4 minutes of the last game. Honestly, couldn't do anything. This is definitely a bounce back spot. You can mess with Kyle Lowry here, but for me, with no Hero, Jimmy Butler, as long as he's going to play, he should be a decent floor for you out there as long as he's out there. We know he's going to take his shots. Definitely can get himself to the free throw line. Will probably one of those props I would look at would be Jimmy Butler's free throws going up against the Nets. That would be something because I know Jimmy, he gets a lot of his points by going to the free throw line. He's not going to kill you with a 3-point shot. Yes, he's going to get to the mid range and stuff like that, but mainly it's going to be against the free throw line. So I don't mind looking at Jimmy Butler here as a run back over there with Mikal Bridges. And then if I have to take anyone else, if I have to, I know it's kind of paining me to even consider this, but Duncan Robinson has looked very good in these last couple games, and I'm not tailing him just because he's popped off for both 40 fantasy point games and back-to-back games, but it's simply just for the simple fact, and I wish they would change his position. He's not a power forward. He is the shooting guard, but opposing shooting guards going up against the Brooklyn Nets, they've done pretty decent. If you subtract Poole and Suggs, who are low usage shooting guards going out here, James Harden in his game going up against them dropped 32 fantasy points. Jaylen Brown 37, Zach LaVine 43, and Tyler Hero when they played the Heat the first time dropped 42 fantasy points. So Duncan Robinson, his shot is definitely falling. He's looking much better out there. He's rebounding. He's getting some assists and playing a little bit on the defensive side. So I don't mind going down to Duncan Robinson if you can't get up here to Jimmy Butler. There is no problem in going up to Bam Adebayo, but like I said, I will prefer just coming out here to Jimmy. I know Bam, he's looked very aggressive. He's looked very good over his last several games to start the season, but really do not mind coming down. He dropped 50 going up against him the first game, so of course there's safety going there with him, but I will take the upside of what Jimmy can actually give me here in the spot. If you want to mess with Highsmith, who of course is going to start at the power forward position, I know Kevin Love, he's there, but Kevin Love, he's kind of capped at 20 minutes a game, so I definitely do not mind going down to Highsmith. And then if you want to take the chance at Jaquez Jr., who we know he plays a pretty decent role off the bench, going to get about 20-ish minutes in that role. Pretty good scorer himself and everything of the sort. 4,500, good value that you can get over here in this game. I don't hate it, don't mind it. Definitely double-digit scoring in all 4 games. I know that's another prop you can look at. I want to say his point prop is at like 10.5, if I'm not mistaken. So another player, oh no, it's at 8.5. So another player you could take a pretty decent prop at, especially as long as he's getting the minutes to burn and the production has been there for him as well. Going over to the late night hammer, starting with the OKC Thunder on their side. Really, you guys already know it's going to be SGA all day, every day. The usage and everything that he has for us has just been, it's tremendous. It's beautiful. But outside of SGA, I will have some interest in Chet. Definitely think this is going to be a bounce back game. I've kind of felt like the lights got to him in that last game where he just didn't want to make any mistakes going up against Wemby. And honestly, we blew them out of the water. Was no competition. Definitely should get back to his double-digit scoring production that he's given us. Going up against more than likely Dario Saric and Kevon Looney. He's done very well in regards to it. 32 minutes in that first game going up against the Warriors, dropped 45.5 fantasy points, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists in that game. So I really do like the upside for Chet here. Another player that I think is now finding his footing, especially for the fact that giddy. He's kind of finding his position role. Let's give my boy Jalen Williams. First game, 35 minutes, dropped 32.75 fantasy points. Yes, down game, but we didn't really have to do that much going up against the San Antonio Spurs. So I'm going to throw that out the window. Been pretty consistent and steady so far this season. And honestly, if you're going to tell me he's going up against Dario Saric defense, he's going to be able to blow by Dario. He's going to be able to get whatever he wants out there. As long as this game stays competitive and close, Jalen Williams should be able to go out here and have a very good game going up against them. And if you look at the opposing power forward numbers going up against the Warriors, it is tremendously just beautiful. Karl-Anthony Towns, 55 fantasy points and 51 fantasy points. Evan Mobley, 31. Aaron Gordon, 41. Isaiah Beef Stew Stewart dropped 40 fantasy points. Evan Mobley, again, 37. Jalen Williams, of course, in that first game, 32.75. So I will take my chances with Jalen Williams if you're not going to play it for SGA, who is arguably probably the best and safest fantasy point per minute player on today's slate. But again, over here for my Thunder, it is going to be between Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren will be the main two I'll look at, because I do plan on getting some plays from that first game over there. Now, going over here to the Golden State Warriors, I will say that probably you're going to at least maybe end up with like 3 Warriors inside your line, just because the value, the usage, the uptick, and everything for them is going to be there. There's no Steph Curry. There's no Draymond Green. Steph Curry practically averaged 20 plus points a game out there. No one else on this Warriors team was averaging 20. The production and uptick is going to have to come from somewhere. Chris Paul let me down, I'm not going to lie, in that last game. Going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves, 36 minutes and only gave me 34.25 fantasy points, 15 points, 4 assists. I want to say he had like 18, 19 potential assists in that game. So definitely the assist upside is there for him. I know his assist prop is at 9.5. Definitely you could take a stab at that. Hopefully he will actually get you there. That first game going up against OKC, he had 13 assists in that game. So I can definitely see merit in going back to that, especially if you feel like he's going to be able to get those easy dimes here. He does grade out as a pretty good fantasy play for today. But I will say, if they do start Dario Saric, I do not mind going down to him. I know he's a great fantasy point per minute producer. Last game, he did get the start going up against the Timberwolves and dropped 36 fantasy points in that game out there going up against them. 5,200 is his price tag. That's really just a sweet price tag for him, especially if he's going to get those minutes. 20 minutes against my Thunder last time, dropped 35.5 fantasy points. So you definitely will know that Saric is going to be very much owned on today's slate. Outside of that, you can definitely mess with Kevon Looney as another play. With no Draymond Green there, really not too sure in regards to who else is going to absorb these center minutes. But Looney, decent, definitely a decent play right there. It has some assist and rebounding upside, but really for me, it's going to be Saric if I'm messing in between either one of these guys. You can take a stab at Aaron Wiggins. Definitely going to need someone else to step up for them. But outside of the main starters, I will say this, and I would be remiss if I didn't. Klay Thompson, he got thrown out of the last game. Cool, understandable. Got it. You wanted to go back and forth with Jaden McDaniels, whatever. But Klay Thompson historically has killed the Thunder. He has historically killed us. So I will say, definitely GPP option. Look at Klay Thompson today. If you don't mess with anyone else from the Warriors, definitely look at Klay. At least look at Klay. Like, he legit has real great numbers versus the Thunder. Outside of that, the guys off the bench, we did see Pod. Like, he played hella minutes in that last game. 39 minutes, 41.25 fantasy points, 23 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. That first game going up against Thunder, he didn't even play going against us. So Pod with no Curry, he's playing that backup point guard role. Looked very good in the preseason. So those preseason grinders, if you guys play preseason with me, you know Pod. He definitely is going to be there. Grades out as one of the pretty good value plays on today's slate. More than likely will be one of my Warriors that I play today outside of Dario Saric. Definitely looking at Pod. And then Jonathan Kuminga, as long as he doesn't get too sped up out there and keeps himself contained and in check, definitely another player who his athleticism could be used here in this position. First game going up against Thunder, 22 minutes and dropped 21.5 fantasy points in that game. So I really do like the upside for Kuminga here. Definitely a buy low spot where you might be able to get him lower owned than Dario Saric or Pod for that case and everything else. All right, guys, that's really going to be it. It's a 2-game slate, really small. Definitely going to try to get a couple of prop plays out for you guys. Hopefully you guys like them and we can roll with it. Hopefully we can bring in some money. 2-game slate. Of course, don't go too crazy. You got to get it practically perfect in order to cash out on this type of slate. It's 100K to first, so you know we're already going to try. Definitely going to continue with the process and continue with the grind. We got a big slate tomorrow. Hopefully I see all of you guys there. Good luck to you guys that do play. Hit me up in the Discord and in the chat. Peace.